I've been investing in cryptocurrency and the stock market for about 7 years now. I'm currently invested in over 20 companies, but what's the total value of my portfolio? What's happening, folks? My name is Robbie, and today I'm going to be breaking down my entire investment portfolio. I'll be talking Bitcoin, Apple, Starbucks, Amazon, and I'll be talking about how much I hold in each of these assets. But before I begin, I always like to mention that these videos are for transparency purposes. I love seeing videos of people talking about their property investments, their stocks, their crypto, what they're investing in, how much they're investing, why they're investing. So that's why I make these videos. Hopefully it gives someone some inspiration on what to invest in, or maybe what not to invest in, potentially. Or more importantly, it might give someone that little kick to actually start investing if they've been sort of on the fence about it. As long as people keep finding these videos interesting, I'll keep making them. That's disgusting. Another point to mention is this is my stocks, shares, index funds and cryptocurrency portfolio. I also invest in other asset classes like watches, whiskey, property. I can make videos about them as well. If you want to see that, leave a comment, let me know. Now we'll just get straight into the portfolio. Section 1, as always, is index funds. This is where the bulk of my portfolio sits. Probably always will be. It's the safest aspect of my portfolio. I'm just going to start from the bottom and work my way up. So first off, we have Germany All Cap Fund. That's up £85.08, and that's worth £1,080.60. FTSE 250, that's up £185.46 in the last 3 months, and it now sits at £1,426.92. Emerging Markets Index Fund is currently up £149.25 to a total value of £2,669.85. And the big one, my favourite every single portfolio update, the S&P 500. In the past 3 months, my investment in the S&P 500 has increased £4,177.94, and that puts it at £56,800.64 total. I invest in my index funds through a stocks and shares ISA, and this is basically a tax wrapper to hold my investments in. And in this ISA, I also hold £228.35 in cash. The reason I include that is because it's in the stocks and shares ISA, so it will be invested soon, which means it's as good as already invested, in my brain at least. So for index funds, that gives us a total of £62,206.36, which is up £4,737.19. That's an 8.24% increase in 3 months, which is nice. So looking at those numbers, index funds had a great quarter. This is actually the first portfolio update where my index funds have broken past the £60,000 mark. Hopefully that's a sign of what's to come for the rest of the portfolio update. Individual stocks is the next category. Now, as always, I'm going to bang through these relatively quickly because there's a lot of them. Warner Brothers Discovery, £26.84, up 1.05%. Evraz, £57.58, down 3.65%, but trading has been frozen on that for about 18 months, so that's just a currency fluctuation. The actual stock price hasn't changed. Hello everyone, I'm just interrupting this video for a quick plug. If you're watching this video, you probably already know who I am, but for the benefit of those who don't, I'm Robbie and I'm a specialist finance broker. This means I help property investors, property developers, and small to medium business owners with funding on their projects. That's buy-to-let mortgages, bridging loans, buy-to-let mortgages for portfolios, development finance and commercial mortgages. If you're a property developer, investor or business owner, email me on this email address or send me a direct message on Instagram to find out how I can help you. Right, plugs over, back to the video. Corsair, £88.62, and that's down 4.31%, which is £3.99, so it's not exactly a lot. Persimmon, £113.12, up 15.09%. AT&T, £171.58, up 7.18%. Scottish Mortgage Trust, £177.80, up 20%. UK Commercial Property Trust, £183.63, up 14%. Things are looking pretty good so far, to be honest. Imperial Brands, £207.83, up 7.95%. BP, this one took a bit of a tumble, £241.49, down 9.43%, which is about £25. Shell surprisingly didn't follow suit with BP, £265.16, up 3.8%. IAG, £291.87, up 4.6%. Berkshire Hathaway, down. I'm going to double check that. Is that right? Oh, it is. £560.81, down 2.35%, which is £13. We're now into the sort of £500 plus mark, so the fluctuations make a little bit more of a difference at least. Warehouse REIT, so that's a real estate investment trust, £575.40, up 11%, which is £57. Procter & Gamble, £575.65, down 3.7%. American Express, an investment that I posted about on TikTok and people told me I was an idiot for it. £735.88, up 20% in the past 3 months. I don't mean to brag, but that was a good investment. Apple, £907.33, up 7.8%. Starbucks, my favourite place, although this is disgusting. Can you see how dark that is? I don't think there's enough milk in it. £980.54, up 1.65%. We're now into the £1,000 plus holdings. Some of these are pretty good. Facebook, £1,112.26. That's up 13%, which is about £130. Netflix, £1,147.44. That's up 24%, which is £224. Google, a little bit underwhelming in comparison. £2,194.99. That's up 50 quid, which is 2.3%. And Amazon, £2,387.31, up 14.64%, which is around £300. I also have my two other investments that are not publicly listed companies. One is nothing. The prices remained the same. There hasn't been any further rounds of investment. They aren't publicly listed, so there isn't any live prices, so we'll just remain the same. £2,921.48. And Chip, the fintech company, who have raised a little bit more money based on a valuation 12.75% higher than previously. That currently sits at £3,383.89, which is about £382. I also have my free trade account that has a few little stocks in it. In this account, I currently have £229.47. And over my Hargreaves account, Etoro account and free trade account, I also have £33.21 in cash ready to invest. This brings the total for stocks and shares to £19,571.45. That's an increase of £1,389.46 since October, 9.65%. It's not bad for 3 months. Now, if my maths is correct, which sometimes it isn't, most of the time it isn't, the total portfolio now sits at £81,777.81, and we've still got crypto to look at, the most volatile category every single quarter. So if you've watched any of my videos by now, you would know that I held my cryptocurrency on a now bankrupt platform called Blockfi, and with that bankruptcy, most of my cryptocurrency could be gone. They're currently going through bankruptcy proceedings. I might get some of it back, I might not. So for the time being, until it's confirmed that the money's gone, I'm just basing this off current market prices. Starting from the bottom, we have Ripple, currently sitting at £223.75, up 15%, which is about £29. Next up is Floki Inu, hands down the worst investment I've ever made. I will hold on to this forever until it either goes to zero or goes back to what I paid for it, which is extremely unlikely. Currently sits at £405, which is an 80% jump on last quarter, which sounds amazing until you realise I paid £2,000 for it, so it's really not amazing. The second biggest crypto holding, as always, Ethereum, £3,601.75, which is an increase of about 32%. And finally, the big hitter, Bitcoin. My Bitcoin holdings are currently sitting at £26,700.16, and that's an increase of 51.25% in the last 3 months. That's £9,000 in 3 months. That's a decent salary. £3,000 a month is a good salary. It's a shame it ultimately means nothing until I can get it out of BlockFi, which is unconfirmed at the minute. But that brings the total cryptocurrency holdings to £30,930.66, a 48.7% increase in 3 months, which means all 3 categories increased in value in the past 3 months, meaning the whole portfolio obviously increased in the past 3 months. And as I always say, as long as the portfolio is not shrinking, I'm happy. So when it's growing, I'm very happy. As you'll be able to see in one of the corners, I'm not sure which one I've put it in, the total portfolio value for this quarter is £112,708.47, a 16% increase in the last 3 months, which coincidentally is also around a £16,000 increase. But more importantly, after mentioning this every single portfolio update since July 2022, the portfolio has finally broken £100,000 again. Last time it broke £100,000, the crypto market completely plummeted and took my portfolio with it. So it feels good to finally get past that barrier again. Hopefully we can remain above £100,000 forever. And this time my allocation is geared more towards stocks than it is crypto. I've had my fingers burned too many times, so I don't want to have too much exposure to it going forward. So I'm always going to try and keep it a relatively low percentage of my overall net worth, which currently it is. If it keeps skyrocketing, I might have to take some out and redistribute it. Or Blockfi goes completely kaput, I don't get any of it, and then I don't need to worry about my allocation of crypto because it'll be near non-existent. But as I mentioned at the start of this video, this is for educational purposes, maybe a little bit of entertainment, a little insight into how I invest, because as I said, I get curious about these things. I think other people do too. Hopefully you found this interesting. Hopefully you were cheering when you found out the portfolio finally hit £100,000 again. Maybe you weren't, probably don't care because it's not your portfolio. But thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next week. Take it easy.